We're all seeing this AI revolution, right? It's changing pretty much everything, especially finance. And for credit unions, treasury management is, well, it's ground zero. But this isn't just about simple automation. No way. We're talking about turning your treasury data into something like a crystal ball for strategic planning.
I mean, really think about that for a second. What if you could anticipate a liquidity crunch weeks before it happens, or spot an interest rate risk before it ever even touches your balance sheet? Imagine testing your credit union's resilience against thousands of different market scenarios, all before your next big ALCO meeting. This isn't some sci-fi movie plot. It's the new reality of financial intelligence.
Okay, so that brings us to the Treasury of tomorrow. How do we actually build it? Well, it all starts with a huge shift in how we think. We have to move past the idea that Treasury is just about managing funds. It's so much more. It's becoming the strategic nerve center of the entire credit union, armed with the power to actually predict and even shape what's coming next.
And this is where AI really shines. Think about it. We're talking about anticipating your members' liquidity needs, maybe even before they do. It's about sniffing out those sneaky interest rate risks that are hiding right under your nose. And the big one, the real game changer, running thousands, literally thousands of simulations to stress test your balance sheet. That gives you a level of preparedness that was frankly just impossible a few years ago.
To really get why this is such a big deal, we have to look at how things used to be. For decades, treasury management has been a reactive game, right? You're always looking at past performance to try and figure out the future. But in today's volatile market, it's like trying to drive a race car by only looking in the rearview mirror. You are absolutely going to miss the next big turn.
And that's the core transformation right there. We're moving away from that reactive monitoring and into a world of proactive insight. So instead of static, historical data, you get dynamic, predictive models. Instead of digging through thick paper reports, you've got these interactive dashboards that let you see potential futures unfold right in front of you. It's a total mindset shift from asking what happened to asking what's coming next.
So you might be wondering, how does AI actually do this? How does it unlock this strategic foresight? Well, it's all about creating a super clear, data-driven view of your risks and opportunities. And it breaks down into a pretty straightforward 4-step process.
Okay, so first, step 1, it just gobbles up all the data. We're talking historical balance sheets, market trends, even member behavior, the whole shebang. Then step 2, it starts forecasting the impact of different shocks. What if rates suddenly spike? What if deposits fluctuate like crazy? And then comes step 3, which is where the real magic happens. It simulates thousands of these what-if outcomes. All of that leads to step 4, a crystal clear, data-driven map of your actual risk.
Now, we just mentioned Monte Carlo simulations, and I know that sounds super complicated, right? But the idea behind it is actually pretty simple and incredibly powerful. All it is a way for the AI to run a scenario, over and over and over again, each time with tiny little changes. This lets it assign a probability to all the different outcomes. It basically turns a vague what if into a very specific what's the likelihood of.
Okay, so we've talked about the how. That's cool. But the real question is, so what? What's the actual impact here? How does all this high-tech insight translate into real-world benefits for the people making the tough decisions every single day? Well, the benefits are huge, and they're felt all across the credit union. For treasury professionals, what used to take days of number crunching can now be done in minutes, and the analysis is just deeper, way more insightful. Then you've got the executives and the board. For them, it means walking into a meeting with real, data-backed confidence. They can make big strategic calls based on actual probabilities, not just gut feelings. It really is the difference between just reacting to the market and getting out ahead of it. And this is a really important point. The goal isn't to replace human judgment, it's to enhance it. You got to think of AI as a tool that gives your experts, well, it's like giving them financial superpowers. It lets them see further and act way, way smarter. So how do you actually get started with this? Well, harnessing this power is probably safer and more accessible than you think. You can start small, with a tailored proof-of-concept model that uses your own data to show you the value firsthand. From there, you can roll out AI-assisted risk dashboards for real-time insights. You could even have what's called a virtual ALCO assistant, basically an AI co-pilot for your most important meetings. The whole point is to seamlessly plug into what your team is already doing and just make them better.
It's really easy to hear all this and think, okay, that's cool, but it sounds like it's 5 or 10 years away. But here's the thing.
The future is now. This isn't some far-off dream on the horizon. This transformation is happening as we speak. The tools, the data, it's all available today.
And this quote just nails it. The future of Treasury is intelligent, data-driven, and insight-rich. At the end of the day, that's what this is all about. It's about having the right information at exactly the right time so you can make the absolute best decisions for your members. Look, this evolution is happening. It's underway. The tools to build a treasury that's more predictive, more proactive, and just flat out more powerful, they're not coming soon. They're here. So the only question left to ask is, are you ready to make your treasury smarter?